All right, welcome everybody to a Wellness Business Hub case study. I am so happy to have the hormone diva herself on today. We'll get started I'll get Robyn to share who she is and what she does, and then we are going to talk about the importance of surveying your audience in order to find out what they really want so that you can create things that they want and make money. So before we dive in, welcome Robyn, and let's just start with you introducing yourself.
For sure. So thanks, first of all, for having me here. I'm really excited to share about some of these things. I'm a holistic nutritionist. My business is the Hormone Diva, so I specialize in women's health issues of various types. I've been doing this for a few years now, and when I got started, it definitely sounded like it was going to be a lot easier than it actually is, especially because I figured, there's millions of women with hormonal imbalances out there, and I thought, you know what, they really need my help. And after kind of going through my own stuff and healing naturally, I really wanted to share that, but it's definitely been a long road to get to where I am right now.
So let's talk about the first program that you created. Tell me what that looked like, how it sold, and then we'll talk about what you've done differently since.
For sure. So the first program was what I called the 21-day Happy Hormones Diet. So it was like a 3-phase plan over 3 weeks to really help women cleanse their bodies in order to balance their hormones and also help balance insulin and all these things that they really had no idea about. I did it because I thought that's what they wanted. I saw all these practitioners online with different detox programs, and I thought this is, a great way to kind of get my foot in the door, start with a basic program. And I think I launched it close to a half a dozen different times. I did with webinar, I did with email, and I could never break a certain number of enrollments. And I never made a lot of enrollments either. I think the highest number was 13 or so, and I was charging like $47. So it was never growing. I didn't feel good about it. The women who actually did it did get results for sure. I mean, it was a good plan in itself. But there was just a disconnect there between, what the program was and what the benefits they were going to receive. I think that was the biggest thing in not getting higher numbers.
And so after launching this program a number of times, what did you do? What did you do? Basically, that's the question, is what did you do and what was the shift that you made?
Yeah, well, besides crying a lot over it and getting super frustrated, I surveyed my list. So at the time that I started surveying them, I think I had close to around 2,000 people on my list. Not a very well nurtured email list, so I didn't have huge responses back then, but I made a survey. I think I used Typeform or SurveyMonkey, one of those kind of free platforms, just to see what it was they really wanted. And I tried to make the survey as simple as possible. So I think there was 3 or 4 questions maximum. I was asking them, one, what are the major issues that they're dealing with? I gave a list and an option for them to put in their own, other response. I asked them what types of programs or services we're looking for to help with their issues. And I gave, again, a list, meal plans, recipes, detoxes, group programs, one-on-one coaching. I gave a whole list of things. And then the last question, I think, was surrounding certain products, because I was thinking about bringing in some products like supplements and different things. And that was it. I got quite a lot of responses on that, which was fantastic. And I was totally surprised by the results, that the things that I were offering, so the 21-day program I had and my private coaching, is not what the majority of the people in my community wanted. What they wanted was meal plans. So what I decided to do was create meal plans. My lead magnet right now is a hormone quiz, and there's 4 different potential responses or outcomes that they could get from this. And so I decided I'll do a meal plan for each of these outcomes and create a funnel around it. I started by doing a meal plan, 28-day meal plan for the outcome of the quiz that I had the most women, which happened to be estrogen dominance. So I created a fat loss meal plan surrounding this. I really marketed it as a meal plan, not like a program by any means, making it as easy for them to implement as possible. Just loads of recipes and kind of giving them a little bit of background about why I chose certain things, but nothing major, like no crazy learning, no modules, no nothing at all like that. It was really a simple product. And it went over incredibly well. I was extremely surprised, a little bit scared after the first day when I only had one sale, but they all came towards the end of the 4-day launch. And it went really well. They were really receptive to it. I've been getting feedback still about how they love the recipes and how they love the way that I've set it up and made it really easy. So the meal plan was a huge difference from the 21-day sort of detox type program that I was trying to offer previously.
And when you told me the results, I was also a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, what if this doesn't work? And I know you and I have had many conversations about, the desire, the money and all of that stuff. And I said to you at one point, I said, so let's lay out the cards on the table. If this doesn't work, are you going to throw in the towel? And what did you say to me?
Absolutely not. I feel like I'm totally unemployable and I just want to work for myself and I just love what I do. And I figured, there's enough people out there with the same exact niche doing the same exact thing I'm trying to do. And they're making loads of money. So of course there must be a way for me to do it too. So I definitely was not willing to give up.
And so thankfully the launch went really well. And now can you just share, so now what does that funnel look like? And then we'll go into like what the next meal plan is and how you, again, surveyed your list and the information that you gathered. But first share the current funnel that you have.
Right. So I launched that estrogen dominance meal plan as a live launch at first, just to see how it went over. And now I'm putting it into my evergreen funnel. So basically what happens is a woman will come and do my quiz, the hormone quiz. If they get the result of estrogen dominance, they'll get the regular immediate response that everyone gets with some videos on estrogen dominance and some more info about what it means and what they can do to get started. And then they're going to get funneled into a series of emails to bring them into the estrogen dominance meal plan. So I think in total, there's 3 nurture emails and I think 6 sales emails, something like that, and all timed out. And it's all automatic. So I really don't have much to do. And my focus there was really trying to get the emails to be as personal as possible, to really shorten them and simplify them. And so we'll see how that goes. That's just getting started with the funnel. So now that part is set up, I'm moving into creating the second of 4 meal plans that I plan to do for this funnel. And the topic is adrenal fatigue. Now, this is a little bit different than estrogen dominance because adrenal fatigue, one, is not usually recognized by physicians. A lot of people have never heard of it. And when you try to explain it, they might get a little weirded out or put off or whatever. And so I was trying to figure out, how am I going to position this second meal plan? I was thinking originally of calling it a 28-day energy boosting meal plan for moody women. And so I went into my private Facebook group, which has about 1,500 or so women in it at this point, and I made a little poll and I said, what sounds more enticing to you? And I did some options. I did energy boosting, I did fatigue fighting, and then I left an other space and said, share in the comments. And not one person, and I keep checking this poll every few days, not one person said energy boosting. Everyone said fatigue fighting, and I had a couple people suggest something else that wasn't even related to fatigue. So fatigue fighting is now the way that I'm going to position this meal plan, and really focusing in on that, because it seems like they're more concerned with the pain that they're feeling versus how they want to feel if they make, whatever changes, diet changes, whatever. So that has been a really huge eye opener. And I was so glad that I put that survey to my list. And then this week I was writing the sales emails because I'm going to do a live launch in July before this goes out to the funnel. And I'm writing the emails and I'm trying to say, maybe you've tried a million things before, like XYZ, and I'm trying to figure out what is that XYZ. I was going to write coffee. I know lots of women and people in general use coffee for energy. I was going to write energy drinks. I was going to write, visiting your doctor, getting some lab tests, whatever. So I put another poll out to my group and I gave them several options. I said coffee, energy drinks, visits to the doctor, cutting carbs, going to the gym, other, a whole bunch of different stuff. And I was quite wrong about a few of the things that I thought they were doing. So I was right on the coffee, so that can stay. But no one said energy drinks. Only a couple people said they visited their doctor about their fatigue, but everyone else was saying coffee, cutting carbs, and going to the gym were the three biggest things that they were doing to try and help their fatigue. So I'm able to better tailor the copy in my marketing emails to what it is that they're actually trying.
And I think that's such a huge, first of all, it's such a huge gift that you have a group that you can directly go to. I know that a lot of people watching this might just be starting. And so what are some suggestions that you have for them in order to get that feedback before they go and create? Because the thing that I see all the time, and this actually just happened the other day in the Wellness Business Academy group coaching call, somebody put up a sales page and I said, who's your ideal client avatar? Because it was not at all clear. And so we really restructured it based on just getting out of pain, not the pleasure, right? Like first people need to get out of pain before they even can think of what that pleasure is. The transformation for a lot of people is just getting out of pain. The next level is achieving pleasure. So what ideas do you have for some people who want to start surveying even, ideal clients, non-ideal clients? Like where can people get started with that?
I would recommend doing what you talk about in the WBA, which is a few phone interviews with potential ICAs. I did this and it totally changed the direction initially of what I was doing, and it helped me get a little bit more narrow with my niche. And then I started doing a lot more surveying, and that's really easy thing to do. Like even if you don't have an email list, like you have friends on Facebook, I'm sure, like for me, if I had no one, I have friends with hormonal imbalances. They're everywhere, right? It would have been easy for me to find these people. Or there's tons of free Facebook groups out there, and you're absolutely able to ask questions in those groups. They don't let you promote, but that's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to ask, how do you feel about this? What did you try? Different things like that. I'm lucky enough that I do have a really active and full Facebook group, but that has taken me a long time to build, just by everywhere I can pointing people towards that group. So when they opt into the quiz, I tell them to join the group. Any other lead magnet I have, every thank you page I have, go to the group. I'm always talking about the groups in my emails. I'm doing Facebook Lives in there. And so really getting that community going has been immensely helpful in figuring out who my people are. But it takes a while to get there. And it's kind of those first steps of, those free Facebook groups that you don't own, those phone ICA interviews. If you have a small list, email the list with your question. If you don't have a group, things like that would be the place I would start.
Did you have to bribe your people to answer the survey? Because I know that a lot of people send out surveys to their list and they get very low response. So was there like a gift or a bonus or something that you used to entice them to answer the questions?
For my original survey, when I was trying to figure out what to do before I started the meal plans, yes, I had a bribe. I don't remember what it was, just some little PDF, some little random thing that I already had, and I just gave them the download link after they did the survey. And that was easy enough. I don't feel like that's why they did the survey, honestly, because a lot of them, just from looking at my reports, never even opened the gift, but they did it anyway. But I think maybe it helped a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. And then when I do the polls on Facebook, there's no bribe. People just like answering polls. They like clicking the buttons and giving their 2 cents. Yeah. I do surveys in my Facebook group every week, every Sunday, just a random question with a few choices every single week. And it's always my most popular post.
That's a really good idea.
Sunday surveys, they're the best.
Sunday surveys. And you know what? That's a really good idea to keep tabs on the culture of your group and the interests from, a non-person, a non sort of clinical businessy way, like, what books, books, Netflix, movies, audio, what's your favorite, right? Like just to get to know your people on like a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. I hope that people take away an actionable tip that before you go and create something that you think that your audience needs, ask them for what they want, right? Whether or not you agree or not, you're here to serve them and to create content that they want to buy and use. So thanks so much for sharing, Robyn. And we'll put some links underneath this video to the survey forms or the survey platforms that you guys can use very easily to create these kinds of surveys, and how to even maybe set up a poll in your own Facebook group. So any last words of wisdom that you want to share?
Just don't waste all the time that I did and do the things that we're talking about. Do the surveys and the polls. I wasted so many times, like 2 years. Don't waste that much time. Make some money.
And I bet now, like, you won't, before you do anything, it's like you ask, right? You ask, you won't make that mistake again.
Totally.
For sure. Thanks so much for sharing. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Have a good day.